I just added a whole bunch of stuff to Khan Academy. If you notice the due date, it's not till October. That's because it's Unit 2's homework. Therefore, I haven't taught any of it yet.
I'm having trouble getting into Khan Academy.
Why is it not working? Have you created an account? Have you added me as your coach? Do you have your phone? Can you open it and let me see?
I don't have it on my phone. It's on my computer.
Okay, so when we go to doing the worksheet today, I'll have you come up to my computer and log in so I can see what you're seeing. Mari?
Amari.
I'm not going to say that. Julia. Ravian's not here? Alright. Xavier? Here. Wendy? Savannah? David's not here. Brianna? Jesse? Keyston? Christina? Do we have this done? Number one's a little different than what we saw last class, but that doesn't mean you can't figure it out. I am. Aren't you excited? Alright, that finishes the information that you need. congruent. That's the congruent symbol. You should stop. Talk about it, guys. I know it's Monday morning, but come on. Yes. It tells you.
So 4, 11, 6, 13. Number 12.
All right. Hopefully, we're able to figure this out. Again, not difficult, guys. We never once looked at lines that look like this. However, we did look at parallel lines cut by transversal, which that's all that is. It's just two pairs of parallel lines instead of one. Savannah, where's Savannah? Savannah, give me one angle that is congruent to 13. This is the congruent symbol, guys. Congruent to angle 13, and tell me why. Good. 13 and 9, because 9 is corresponding. Valerie? Give me another one. Congruent to 13 or 9, since we have both of them now. Why? So what do we call that when it's in the same position? You gotta know that word. It starts with C. Not congruent. Corresponding. Corresponding. You gotta know the words, guys, because on your test, on your EOC and your word problems, you're not always gonna have a picture. They're just going to say, like down here did. They're just going to tell you what they are, and if they tell you that the angles are corresponding, you have to know what that means. So we have 9 and 1, congruent to 13. Jesse? Where's Jesse? Jesse, tell me another one, and it can be congruent to 13, 9, or 1. Why? Five is corresponding to 1. What other number is 5 corresponding to? 13. 5 is corresponding to 1. 5 is also corresponding to 13. So now we have, we just went around a giant circle, 13, 9, 1, and 5. Christina? Christina, another one. Huh? That's all? There's no more? There's only 13, 9, 1, and 5? That's it? You can't see anything else? You don't see anything else 13 is congruent to right here? Huh? 13 and 2? 13 and this guy? Why? Madison, get one. 16, why? They are congruent, why? No, adjacent means next to. I agree, but what is that called? Because you're not being precise enough. Vertical. 13 and 16 are vertical angles. Elena? Where's Elena? Elena, give me another one. 11. Why do you say 11? There's same side interior on your folder. What does same side interior say? What does it? Is that all it says? Does that mean they're equal? David, where's David? Leslie, what does supplementary mean? What do we do when two things are supplementary? You add them together to equal 180. So, supplementary, 13 and 11 we're adding together to equal 180, so they don't equal each other. So far we have 13, 16, 9, 1, and 5. Esteban? You said 13 and 12. Why? Why?
They're alternate.
Alternate what?
Interior.
Interior. Good. Alternate interior angles. 13 and 12 are alternate interior angles. They're congruent. Eli? Another one. What is it? 3? Why? Say it again. What number? 3 and what number? 3 and what? 3 and 13. The only way this works is if both angles touch the same line. They both must touch the transversal. So does 3 and 13 share a line? No. So you can't use 3 and 13. What other number? 7? Okay. So is 3 and or is 13 and 7 congruent? Huh? Why? No, they're not congruent? So pick another number. What did you say? 6? We already said 16. What did you say? 10? So, what are you saying? 13 and 10? Okay, so how are 13 and 10 related? So here's an easier way, Eli. You ready? Look at your folder. Pick something that says they're congruent, and you tell me what you're doing. Which one are you picking? Alternate interior. So what number do you want to work with? That we already know is congruent. Stay with alternate interior. Look at number 13. Good job. We know number 13 is the number, right? Look at that picture. Tell me an angle that is alternate interior to 13. Alternate interior. Now 6 is inside. They're both inside, but do they alternate the transversal? So what number? What'd you say? Again, 11 and 13. They're both inside, but do they alternate the transversal? You run out of choices. Go again. Right? Look right here. Your eyes are right here. Do you see the parallel lines? Do you see the transversal? Okay, alternate interior means that you're alternating the lines and the transversal. So 13 is on this line on top, then what's alternate interior over there? Is 7 inside? Look, you're not looking. You're not looking. You're making this way too difficult for some reason, I don't know why. Alternate interior. You see where 13 is? These are my parallel lines. So I need to stay in between those parallel lines. We're good? When I alternate, 13 is in this parallel line on top. So to alternate that, I go to this parallel line on the bottom. So it's 13 and 8. Alternate interior. If you go to these parallel lines, 13 is in between. So it's on the left side on the bottom line. Alternate that, the right side on the top line. 13 and 12 are alternate interior angles. Does that make sense? So if I told you, I can't tell you anything else. If I told you alternate exterior to 16, give me a number that is alternate exterior, same rules apply, now we're just outside, to 16. 16 and what is alternate exterior? 16 and? Perfect. Now go the other direction. 16 and what? We can't use these because they don't share a line. So use these. 16 and what? Is 7 alternating? 16's on the bottom. So that means over here it has to be outside, exterior, outside. Okay, so now I know where we need to practice. That's good. We're fine. You gotta know these words, guys. You gotta know them. Do we have them all? Am I missing some? I think I am missing some. What am I missing? You can go to the bathroom if you get this right. So we have 16, 13, 9, 12, 5, and 8, and 1. So we are missing one more. Why? Uh, 10 is alternate exterior to what? To what? There's a whole bunch of lines up there. 10 and 2? Is 2 outside the line? So then 2 can't be exterior. 1? So 1 and 10 are both outside, but do they alternate the transversal? No, they're both on top. 3, 10 and 3, yes, are alternate exterior, but 10 and 3, no, are not congruent to 13. So your consolation prize is to go to the bathroom. I'm missing 1. What 1 am I missing? 4. Why? Huh?
I thought we said 4.
No, we never said 4. We said 1. We said 13, 9, 1, and 5, and then we said 16, 12, 8. We never got to 4. Guys, know the location. Look, there's 4 lines up here, correct?
Yes.
When we did our notes with transversals, how many lines did we have? Look at your foldable. Look at all of those
3
boxes. 3. You had parallel lines and you had a transversal. So when you're looking at that, you can only look at 3 lines at a time. This is again where you have to use your imagination. Mentally erase the line you don't want. If I'm looking right here at line L, M, and N, I am going to erase this off the picture mentally. It's no longer there, it doesn't exist. That line does nothing for me. All of those angle pairs, alternate interior, alternate exterior, corresponding same side interior angles, they all lie right here. I'm going to pick all the congruent ones right there. Once I've picked all the congruent ones right there, then I'm going to look at these 2 parallel lines and this transversal. And I'm going to erase this one. And then I'm going to do the same thing. What are all the alternate interior, alternate exterior, corresponding same side interior angles? Do it in sections. Don't try to look at anything in this classroom as a whole. That's going to confuse you even more. They are always going to add more lines than you need. They're always going to add more shapes than you need. They're always going to add more numbers, more letters, more expressions than you need. This is when it becomes very critical that you know the precise definitions of everything so that you know exactly what you're looking for. Alright, we're going to practice more with that in a few minutes. Number 2. Find the value of x that makes the measure of angle ABC, which equals x plus 2, alternate interior to the measure of angle DEF, which is 5x minus 2. Preston, where's Preston? Preston's not here? Is there even a Preston in this class? Julia? Julia, before I can even set this up or solve it or do something with it, I have to know what alternate interior angles mean. What are alternate interior angles? Just tell me what they do. And? Okay, what? I'm looking for the part that's in the parentheses. They're congruent. That's it. That sets up my equation. That right there tells me how to set up my equation. Alternate interior angles are congruent. Brianna? What does congruent mean? That they're the same. What's another math term for the same? They're equal. That means I'm going to set them equal to each other. Kara? I won't ask you that question since you're just coming back. Wendy? When you set this up, what does it look like? They're equal to each other. So tell me exactly what to write. X plus 2. What is it equal to? There you go. And from this point, you're just solving for x. So subtract x from both sides. Add 2 to both sides. Divide by 4 and x equals 4. Are you done right there? What did the directions say? Did I find the value of x?
4 divided by 4 is 1.
1. You're right. Did I find the value of x? So you're done.
I thought you needed like a degree, like
The degree symbol?
Yeah.
No, because you're only finding x. If you plugged x back in, you would need the degree symbol. Alright, we're going to go back in time for a little bit. Go ahead and get this worksheet out. We are going to work on the back of it. Matthew? Where's Matthew? How do I know if two lines are parallel or not?
Okay, if they're in the same plane.
Let's start back even farther. What's the definition of parallel lines?
Alright, definition of parallel lines are lines in the same plane that do not intersect.
Good. Good.
And then
Now-
reciprocals.
No. Keiston's not here. So here goes. Camille? How do I know if two lines are parallel?
They share the same slopes and have different y-intercepts.
Good. They have the exact same slopes, but different y-intercepts. Simon? How do I know if lines are perpendicular?
One line crosses the intersectional line.
No, not if they intersect in a y. Raymond? Where's Raymond? There's no Raymond? Xavier. Perpendicular lines, man. How do I know if they're perpendicular?
If they cross at if they intersect at a 90 degree.
Alright, so perpendicular lines intersect at a 90-degree angle. Trinity, how do I know if they're intersecting at a 90-degree angle? If I'm not giving the graph, but I'm giving the equation.
They have
Opposite reciprocal what? Slopes. Awesome. Darren,
With the negative line.
what the heck does opposite reciprocal mean?
When something is the exact opposite of something else,
What do you mean by exact opposite?
like sign-wise and slope-wise. Like, if you have 5 as a slope, then it would be 1/5 negative.
Good, good. Opposite reciprocals. Change the sign, flip the fraction. Now, here goes. Because we're not dealing with pictures. We're dealing with equations. So you don't have a graph to look at. You don't have a graph to create. You have an equation to write. All of these need to be in y equals mx plus b form. Write the equation in point slope form of the line that is parallel to the given line. Your final answer must be in slope intercept form. Do we all know what point slope form is? So here goes point slope. I'll write it up here. Do you know why it's called point slope? Because your x1 and your y1 is a point, and the m is your slope. So they call it point slope. Realistically, you should have seen this before. If not, then guess what? We're going to use this all year long. So you see it now, you'll be able to use it all year to remember it. We put things in point slope form and then solve for y. And when you solve for y, it's going to turn out in slope intercept form. So we're going to start with this, and when we solve for y, we are going to end like that. So the first four all say parallel. So what does that tell me to do with my slope? Say it again. What did you say? You said something. What did you say? Okay, they don't touch. But what am I going to do to my slope in this problem? Where's my slope? Let's start basic. Let's see. Who am I going to call him? What is the slope to number 1? Janaya? Perfect. So the slope is negative 5 over 4. Janaya, I want my new line to be parallel to that line. So what am I going to do to this slope? Are parallel lines reciprocal slopes? So what are parallel lines? Good. And what do we know about their slopes? Let's see if somebody does. Skylar? Where's Skylar? Dravian? What do we know about parallel lines and their slopes? Dravian, why are you looking around, dude? Huh? They're the same slope. So what am I doing to this slope? It's not a trick question, guys. What am I going to do to this slope to make sure it's parallel? I'm going to make it the same. So I'm not doing anything to it. My slope, my m, is negative 5 over 4. And they told me what point to put it through. So this is my x1, y1. Now we just plug it in. So y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Guys, the best way to learn a new equation is to write it down every time you have to. Don't fill it in. Write down the equation first. Then you'll have it memorized by the time you're done with this worksheet. My y1 is 1. My slope is going to be negative 5 over 4. Minus my x1 is negative 4, so I have minus the negative 4. What does that do to my equation? Makes it positive. Minus the negative is a positive. So I'm going to very slowly and painfully simplify this equation. After you turn the minus and negative into a positive, then you're going to distribute this negative 5/4. So you get y minus 1 equals negative 5/4 x plus, what is a negative 5/4 times 4? You guys got to know how to multiply fractions. I'm going to do it right here on the side. Negative 5 over 4 times 4 over 1. Negative 5 times 4 is 4 times 1, 20 divided by 4, negative 5. This is why fractions are so much better than decimals. You can do them all by hand. So this is actually a negative 5. My last step, I have y minus 1 equals negative 5/4 x minus 5. The last thing I need to do is add 1. Do I add 1 to this? Do I add 1 to the negative 5/4 x?
No.
Why? They're not like terms. So what's negative 5 plus 1? And there you go. And your equation came out in y equals mx plus b form. You're done. is this line parallel to that line? Yes, because they have the same slope. Yes.
Could you look to the side a little bit?
Do I need to do another one? Okay. We're going to do it very slow again. I want you to set it up first. I'm going to give you a minute. Just set it up. Just put it in your point slope formula. Mateo? What is my slope?
3/2.
Okay, so what is the slope of my new line going to be?
3/2.
Yeah, that's it. Why is it taking you so long to answer? Parallel slopes are exactly the same. There's nothing hiding, guys. There's nothing to do. Amaris? I'm saying that wrong. Yep, I am. Somehow you put a D sound in there. Say it again? Yeah. What is the point that my line is going through? What is my x1, y1? We're going to take this nice and slow, guys. Samara? I'm saying your name wrong too, aren't I?
No.
It's right? Okay. What is the equation? What is the point slope form of a line? Just tell me the equation.
Y equals y1.
That's not y equals.
Y minus y1 equals n. Parentheses x minus x1.
Alright, and when you plug it in, it is going to look like what, Jade? Where's Jade? Jade. Now you're going to plug in all your stuff. What is my equation going to look like? Y minus what?
1 equals 3x. I mean 3 over 2x plus 4. Oh wait.
Does anybody see anything wrong? Why? Because the equation is minus. Why did this one turn positive then? Yes. The equation has a minus sign. So you got to be careful with that. Now if your point is a negative point, it is going to turn that minus sign into a positive. But if your point is positive, it's going to keep it negative. Now we just distribute. We're going to distribute the 3 halves to both terms. So it's y minus 1 equals 3 halves x minus, who has an answer for that right there? What do you put? You put 3? You got 3 and then negative 6. So who's right? Let's find out. You have 3 halves times 4. 3 times 4 is 12, divided by 2 is 6. I just didn't calculate in the minus sign. I left it minus. You didn't do what? And now you see why it's important to do that? Guys, always write out more than you need. The more you write out, the more steps you keep on paper, the less steps you keep up here, the less likely you are to make a mistake. Last step, just add 1. So y equals 3 halves x minus 5, and you're done. That's in y equals mx plus b form. Is that hard?
No.
Can we figure this out now for the other 2? Alright, I'm going to give you 10 minutes to do the next 2, and then we're going to try the perpendicular ones.
The number 3 is the slope 3.
That's it. Yeah, good job. Who's having problems with their Khan Academy? You're next. Come up here and log in. Hold on. Let me see if your name's on here first. What's your last name? What is it? Right there. I don't know why you're not showing up. So you're on there. So now let's...
It's not letting me again.
Why?
Yeah, I'm clicking it, it's not doing anything. I tried to click logging in, it doesn't do anything.
Venga.
That's wrong.
That's weird. I can't remember log into it. I think remember my password is Titans21, something like that.
Should be Titans with a capital T.
Yeah.
And then the last 2 digits of your graduation year.
Yeah, that's what it is.
And it's not working?
Because we had that issue because I tried to do it on Chrome, it wouldn't work, couldn't sign in, but we used like Internet Explorer, it worked. It was like only working on like my mom's specific computer.
Alright, so I'm gonna kick you out and you're just gonna have to create the account again.
I think we did that, I think maybe.
Well, I did it yesterday with somebody.
No, we can log into our account at home, but it's like I can't like go anywhere else.
Alright, so just try it again here. Because I did that yesterday with somebody and it worked.
It's already connected to the email.
Huh?
It's already connected to the account.
But your password's not the same. Right? Is that what the problem is? The password's not going?
You already have an account with the email. Same email password too.
Do you know what your email password is to get into your actual email?
What, on here?
Yeah, your
Yeah, it was
school email.
my lunch number.
Because my only other option is just you gotta click forget password or forgot password to go retrieve your password.
How do I go through the email?
Huh?
How to go through the school email?
Yeah.
Like school
Then you
site
just
email.
gotta go to your school email and retrieve it.
Do you have to do this at home?
You can try it here if you want to.
I can try. Because the one thing about it, we did that. We changed the password for it, and we realized it was like weirdly it didn't work on like Chrome or even my computer. It only worked on my mom's specific computer. It only worked on the Internet Explorer. Even tried it on Explorer on my computer. It didn't change it at all. We tried to change the passwords.
Other than that, just try a whole new email and create a whole new account.
Because we were able to log in, but we didn't see anything that's like popped up on yours.
Well, the weird part is when I look at your name, you don't have an email attached to it.
Because my brother changed or tried to fix it, but I don't know if that probably was a problem.
It probably is because I should see an email attached to your name.
Yeah, but I do have a 562. I just don't know why.
Alright, so try when you get home. Try to create a whole new account with all different emails.
Did you get 3 extra 6?
I got
It's 3 extra 6. Shut up. I said she got it.
That's my That's so you did. That's my holy
See, you don't have to put 3 over 1. You just Yeah, but now we have a 2 over here. Wait, you have to multiply this. 7, 6, 5. You mean that too? See, you multiply before. I know, so if you multiply before, it's going to equal to 5. That's 3x plus 4. You just subtract 2. That's 2 from 6. Just 3 times x, 3 times 2.
That's making you a minus. Did you log in?
Yeah, this is where I got, and I put in the join class part, and then my computer froze, and then it just wouldn't work.
So do it again. That's your class.
I didn't know, I also didn't know your email.
Bro, trust me, bro. I have the right answer. Trust me.
It's this one, right?
Yes. Right. So now you should be in class, but now I have to go back and refresh on my side before you see any of your assignments. But now your assignments will be there.
Okay.
Go ahead and log out. Just multiply with this 3. Alright, back up here. Check your answers. The first one. Your answer should be 3x minus 4.
Oh, not plus 4.
Raise your hand if you got 3x minus 4. And by minus 4, I definitely mean plus 4.
Yeah.
I got that.
Look at that, everybody's awesome. Most people are awesome. Now, number 4. You should have negative 2x plus 3. Hey, come on, guys. 10 minutes to do 2 problems and you can finish it?
It's because number 3 had a lot of controversy.
You're still on number 3. I told him, and it was wrong.
It was right.
It was right. You said 3x plus 3x plus 6. It's 3x plus 4.
Oh, you're talking about number 3?
And then you subtract 2 from both sides. You said 6.
Alright, the bottom 4 are perpendicular. Who can raise their hand and tell me what the only difference is? The slope. So for the first one, number 5, what is the slope?
Negative 3 over 2.
No, what is the slope of this one?
Oh, 2 over 3.
2 over 3. So the slope you want is going to be,
Negative 3 over 2.
you're going to change the sign, flip the fraction. Nothing else changes. You're going to take that new slope. You're going to plug it in for m. This is your x1, y1. You're going to plug those in. You're going to solve for y. And your answer is going to look like this. Y equals mx plus b. That's it. From here to here, there's one difference. Instead of using this exact number, you're going to take this number, change the sign, and flip the fraction. That's it. So if this is negative, you're going to turn it positive. If it's positive, you're going to turn it negative. Whatever the fraction is, flip it. This worksheet that I'm handing out to you right now needs to be cut. This is actually 2 worksheets in one. Just cut it in half. Cut it down the middle in half. You only need one, not two.
That's like everyone does.
That's why you have that. Sleep on the bed. Right. Let's look at this little half sheet. The half sheet is the transversals. For the first two, guys, the biggest part here is to recognize what they are. Jalen, where's Jalen? There's no Jalen. Carol? Class Dojo don't like you today. Seen your name like 4 times. You ready? Number 1. Do you see the number 125 degrees? 112, I mean. Do you see the question mark? Alright, can you relate the 112 and the question mark? Can you call them something? You're going to call them alternate interior, alternate exterior, corresponding, or same side interior, vertical angles, or linear pair. Look at them. Narrow your choices. Are they both inside the parallel lines? So that eliminates alternate interior and same side interior. Are they both outside? Well, if they're both outside, that means they can only be one thing. So are they alternate exterior? Do they alternate lines and the side of the transversal? Yes. 112 is on the top line on the left. The question mark's on the bottom line on the right. Alternate exterior angles are what? In the parentheses. Congruent. Xavier, what does that mean? They're the same. They're the same. So my question mark is 112 degrees. That's it. You're going to do that. Then down there at number 3. Now we have to solve for x. So not only do we have to determine what they are, that tells me how to set it up. Then I have to set it up and solve it. Leslie, these two angles, x plus 95 and then the 91 degrees, what are they? How can I relate them? Narrow it down again. Are they both inside the lines? Are they both outside the lines? Are they in the same spot? Are they corresponding? Are they in the same spot at each intersection? Okay. Do you see what that picture looks like? Which one of the pictures on that foldable looks like that? Vertical. The vertical angles. The vertical angles are what? It's in the parentheses. They're congruent. Xavier, congruent means they're equal. So for number 3, you're going to have to do a little bit of work and say 91 equals x plus 95. And then solve. This is a one-step equation. What's the one step I'm going to do?
Subtract.
Subtract. 91 minus 95. It's negative 4. No, you want your variables to stay positive. You don't have one? Did your group cut them in half? Huh? You can cut it in half. That's not the same thing. Did I only give your group one? Alright, and then on the back side you have the same type of questions. Find out what they are, relate them. When you relate them, it tells you how to set up the equation, whether they're congruent or supplementary. Yes, name them for me. I want the name.
So when you get to the equation, you have to remember not with the x.
That's with the x. You want x by itself. That's why I got rid of the 95, because I made x by itself. If you subtract it the other way, you're still going to get the same answer. If you do it the other way, I'll do it up here. You have 91 equals x plus 95. If I subtract 91 from both sides, you get 0 equals x plus 4. Subtract x, and you get negative x equals 4, but you can't have a negative x, so x equals negative 4, which is the exact same thing that I got. Of course it makes sense. It's math. Math always makes sense. It's the only thing that is exact all the time and always makes sense.
So was math discovered or created?
I guess a little bit of both.